All right, Kombat Konvo. Oh man, you know what it is. We back, man. We seem like we was off forever, man, but we back at it, man. So, all right. So today we talking about Francis, man, and him leaving the UFC. I know we kind of late on this, but we gonna get to it. And he did a video. We're gonna watch the video, see what he said, why, what happened, and then we're gonna come back and discuss whatever. We might be stopping the video, you know what I mean, throughout, but let's just see what he say, and then we give our take on it. So let's go.
Hello everyone. I want to thank you for being so patient with me during this time. From my last fight, my surgery, and my negotiation behind the scene with the UFC. I want to thank the UFC fans who have supported me during this time, and thanks to the UFC for the past 7 years. I want to share my excitement for the heavyweight fight between Jon Jones and Francis Ngannou. It's going to be a very exciting fight. I'm going to be watching that fight. But we all know the term undisputed means nothing here. Yes, it really means nothing. But I will still be excited watching that fight.
You're going to fight arguably the greatest fighter of all time. You'd be the highest paid heavyweight ever in UFC history. Or you think there's more money out there to fight somebody who isn't the greatest of all time, somebody who is a lesser opponent. I mean, you'll have to ask Francis that question, but in my opinion, that's what it is.
They have also...
Let me stop that right there. See, first of all, you can't say that, right? This is what pisses me off about Dana White, right? Because like he says a lot of slick shit, you know what I mean, to fighters. And he does a lot of undercutting shit. And George St. Pierre, he explained that on the Dave Rubin podcast. He explained that Dana White is he not a snake, but he does things for business purposes. You know what I'm saying? And if this guy Francis fights Fury, Fury is much better in a way bigger. How would I say? He's much better, and he's much more established than Jon Jones. That's hands down. Tyson Fury. So if he's gonna fight Tyson Fury, he's fighting one of the greatest boxers of all time. So for him to say, "Oh well, he want to fight a lesser opponent," what are you talking about? I don't get that.
Yeah, I ain't like that. I didn't like that statement neither that he made, because it's kind of like making Nagawa look like he's a coward or he's scared or whatever like that, and he's not scared.
Yeah.
He's not scared. We're talking about somebody that fought and he couldn't even walk. The dude could barely walk, and he still fought and retained his title. He could barely walk. You understand what I'm saying? And he fought like that. He fought like that for like 2 other fights before he got to this one. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm like, come on, how could you say that this guy is like basically scared when literally he's giving out his guts, his pride, and his everything to the sport of UFC, mixed martial arts, and you're just gonna second class citizen him like that? Man, that's crap, man. Yeah. That's crap.
Let's go on.
Said that I'm scared of fighting Jon Jones or somebody else, which I don't know where they came from with that one. That sounds very ridiculous, in my opinion, with all due respect, because I've been calling for this fight for over 2 years. I've been waiting for this fight forever. And I've been fighting guys even with one knee, with injury. And now, why do I be scared of them? Why I feel even more confident? No, I'm not scared. The only thing that I'm scared of is to be trapped. It's not to lose my freedom, which I value very much. You guys know how the UFC contract can be restrictive, and as an independent contractor, you don't really have a say in that contract. You don't even have a right. So I can't do that.
You don't want to be here. You don't have to be here.
Anyone who doesn't have to be here doesn't have to be here. You know that's not true, right? You know how restrictive the UFC contract can be for a contract that's supposedly for independent contractor. So there's not really a lot of things that you want or you can do when you are in that contract. They decide for you. I signed my last contract in December 2017. Even at the time, I knew it wasn't a good contract, but I know I have to earn my position, become a champion, have more value. In order to negotiate a better deal for me, I need to add more value to myself. And that's what I've been doing in the past 5 years, you know, and which is okay. I never really complained with that contract, no matter what happened. The only thing that I wanted is the right to deliver that contract, to terminate that contract as I should, and move on into the next one. You know, I do believe that I have that right, at least. I mean, that's called freedom, you know, to be able to terminate a contract in order to start another one. And if the new one doesn't suit your condition, you're also free not to sign without going into a bad blood, you know. So that's how I feel about it. It's just unfortunate that we didn't come to a term, which I wish we could have, but it is what it is, you know. But as an independent contractor, I have to look up to myself and do what's right for me. And everyone out there should do the same for themselves. Now, it's very crucial for my
Let me stop that right there. All right, so I listen, man. I see people online saying, I seen this one guy online. He did a whole video saying he's a fraud and he's a bozo. And it's like listen. Once you start calling people names, I turn you off because you have no legitimate argument. You have to have a legitimate argument. This is how business works. This guy they offered him a contract. He said, he told them he need this. He advocated for these other athletes, and he wanted to have advertisements, his own advertisements of himself or whoever in the ring. And I don't understand why people think that that's such a bad thing for an athlete to ask for more money when they're putting their life on the line. It's like y'all they side with these companies who don't give a shit, who don't give a fuck. And they said, well, he fought 10 other times and he didn't care. Well, guess what? That's why he has a fucking bad knee now. So this is the reason why he needs to, you know, advocate for more money or whatever. Because to me, it wasn't even about the money. Because obviously he can go anywhere else and get the money. I actually believe that this is what he wanted out of this whole deal. And I don't understand how people are so upset with him because he wanted more out of a deal. It's like, how you mad at the man for wanting more out of a deal? And then he walked away from the fight because I think he's scared. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, man. Listen, I agree with you 110%, bro. Like, these people in general don't know what the hell they talking about. Listen, like, there's nothing wrong with an athlete wanting more out of their deal. There's nothing wrong with an athlete negotiating, especially when it comes to combat sports. And even when it comes to football. Football in a lot of cases is just like the combat sports because you put yourselves in these contracts, right? You don't have the proper medical care. You don't have the proper advocates. With except in football, they got advocates. People got advocate for them, but not to not to the extent of what they want. But
Yeah,
they have people that can advocate for them. But in combat sports, especially mixed martial arts, especially professional wrestling, They don't have nobody to advocate for them like that. There's no union. There's no this. There's no that. So if the fighters don't advocate for themselves, man, then it's like it is basically out the window. I can't understand why people are so mad at Francis for wanting more out of his deal. I can't understand why they mad at him for wanting medical care, why they mad at him for asking for advocacy, for asking for a fighters union. I can't understand why they are mad at him for that.
I
Why?
listen. I don't know. We're gonna finish this out, but I don't know.
Sure, I have to take a time, decide uh, what's my next move, and I'm gonna speak. I'm gonna speak to people, some people out there, and see what's possible. Hopefully, I mean, I want to start do some boxing at first before step into MMA, because regardless, I still have so much excitement and so much love with MMA that I feel like I haven't delivered everything regarding MMA. But I also want to do some boxing match, so yes, maybe explore a possibility to do one boxing match and come back into MMA with another organization, promotion, or my own promotion. Everywhere that I feel respected, everywhere that I feel value, I'll be happy to do that. You know, free agency is something that no many fighter in their prime, in their very top, has a chance to experience. And then now I have it. I fight for it. I fought for it for the past 3 years. I have it, and I really want to do a better use out of it. And remember, they're going to be saying a lot of things. They're going to be trying to bash me, to devalue me. But no matter what, you have to remember who the real king is. The best heavyweight in the world. I'm the best heavyweight in the world. And I don't care what they say out there. Hey, man, I'm the man. You know, I'm the best. I'm the king.
Hey, man, can't hate on a man for that.
Nope.
Can't hate on him for that. You know, I think that I think my biggest issue with the UFC is, and this is, and I said this on one of the comments. I'm a huge UFC fan. I'm like UFC boxing. This is the beginning of the end for them, man. Unless they change up, it's the beginning of the end. Because once one athlete does it, it's going to be 3, 4, 5 more that's going to want it now. Especially if they've been fighting for years. They're going to want this. And I think that they deserve it. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that they didn't have health insurance. This whole time, I never knew that. I never knew that.
Nope.
You know, maybe I didn't know it because I wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't thinking about it. But
see, the thing is the way UFC promotes it, you would think that they have health insurance, because if you ever look at when the fighters get injuries, right? They do this whole documentary. They have them going through rehabilitation, getting themselves right back into shape to come back to the octagon. They do the same thing with professional wrestling.
Yeah.
They getting themselves back in shape, lifting weights and stuff, only for you to find out later these guys got no health insurance. So who's funding that?
Yeah.
Who's funding that?
I don't understand.
Now I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
You know who's funding that? The fighters are funding that. The only thing that UFC or professional wrestling organizations will be funding is the whole taping of the process. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the fighter will get a cut of that, because you're taping him or her going through the whole process of rehabilitation to get themselves back in the ring or the octagon. That's what they do, man. So then in your mind, you're going to think, oh, they got health insurance. They got this, they got that. No, they don't. No, they don't.
Hey, listen, man. Like I said, man, I'm going to put it to you like this. Congratulations to Francis. I'm not hating on that man for doing what he thinks is best for his life, I'm not gonna get on this show and be like, oh, he's a fraud, he's a clown, oh, he should know. Oh, I'm not doing that because number one, I believe that he did the best thing for him, and I think he made the right decision, whether it was a fight with John Jones or not. You know what I'm saying? He made the right decision. His contracts didn't work out. I can imagine if UFC, if he came to the UFC, if he was the UFC and he came to the UFC with a different contract or something, or asking for something, and then they said no, we can't come to this, or any type of conclusion. If the roles were reversed, I think the fans would have been in the same position, been mad at the UFC. I think they're just using this just as an excuse to have something to say about him, because you can't really say anything about the dude. You can't.
No, you can't.
He ain't got no losses. Can't say nothing about him. Well, he do got loss, but you can't say nothing about him. He's champ. That's just the bottom line. You know what I mean? Whether he went out, you could say, oh, he's scared of John Jones. Come on, bro. This guy been asking for this fight forever. Now John Jones come back. He all of a sudden don't want to do the fight now because he's scared. Like, I'm not trying to hear that.
And you know what's funny though? You know what's funny? Even John Jones said that he felt that Francis was right for what he did. John Jones said that.
Yeah.
So if John Jones is saying that, then you have to know that his contract was screwed up. You have to know that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Jones even said it himself. He even said it himself that he wished he had the nerve to go do it himself, but he had no type of pull at the time, and he was locked into something that he hated.
Yeah.
He said in his own statement. So,
but hey, man, listen, man, you know what it is, Kombat Konvo. Yeah, man. So we'll be back with another one, man. Shout out to Francis, man.
Shout out to Francis.
Yeah.